Welcome to Rebel Chaser. My name is Gail, and I have some clips for you from Judge Boyd in Texas. She has a young man that's coming before her for probation violations, and he brought his mommy to plead his case for him. And what she says is the system took her son away from her. The system has been involved in his life since he was 13 years old. The only problem is she's the mother. She's the one that's been raising this young man. And all of his problems kind of go back to her raising. So I have his sentencing, where she also came and pled his case then. And then I have his probation violation hearing that he had just yesterday. Also, this young man is an adult, so I'll let you guys watch.
All right, court is calling 2022 CR 6828, State of Texas versus Alonzo Taylor. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Deerhead, Your Honor.
For the defense?
Greg Gamer for the defense.
We are here for,
Gamer.
could you spell your last name for the court reporter, please?
Yes, DES is in Sam, MARAIS is in Sam.
Thank you.
Sorry about the S.
So we're here for sentencing today. You entered a plea on March 29th of no contest, and you applied for deferred adjudication. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishments be assessed at a cap of 5 years, and the state is silent on your application. All right, have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Your Honor, I'd like to say a few words and then call Alonzo and his mother up if that's possible.
Yes.
Okay. So the first thing, Judge, as you go through this PSI, the thing that sticks out is criminal history, obviously. This young man just turned 20, April 8th. And as we just talked out there, I'm saying you're the perfect candidate for probation because of this. You're at a crossroads. Your life is going to be defined by what you do from now on. You've already made this thing as since a 12-year-old, if you go back with those ages. He does have certificates for construction that he can work. He does have a job. He does not have any dependents. I talked to him about his alcohol and drug use, and he's saying that is not happening.
All right, if you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Kind of dirty. Okay.
All right.
Kind of dirty. He said kind of dirty.
Dirty for what?
Marijuana.
No, it's not marijuana. I think you know what you were using. So what have you used? Let me put you under oath. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand and you're going to have to speak up so the court reporter can hear. So what are you going to be dirty for?
Marijuana.
And what else? All right, before we continue, I'm going to want a UA.
Yes, Judge. All right. They're going to give you a UA. Do we need
Yes.
to
Oh, they're
walk
going to
it
have,
down, or-
oh no, they're going to have somebody come and give him a UA.
All right.
Vashawn, do we have results?
Positive for THC.
Okay, all right, let's bring him on out.
THC. Do you have a base level or?
No, they can't give base
Come
level.
on, Judge. I'm working with thin air here.
I know, and you're a teacher too.
About to teach.
Yeah, well, sometimes clients don't tell you everything.
Well, no, and I talked to his mom about that. So
Okay,
Hey, Lonzo right here.
all right, we're back on the record. So when's the last time you used marijuana?
About a week ago, it was a candy bar.
Okay, you're gonna need to speak up. Right now is not the time to be too cool for school.
It was about a week ago. It was a candy bar site. My voice is just kind of deep and low.
Right. So why are you doing marijuana when you know you have sentencing and you know I could send you to prison for 5 years? Because I'm sure your attorney will tell you, and I'm sure the state will tell you, in this court, age is just a number. I'm not going to treat you like a child because you're not a child. You're in adult court. I don't know why people want to use some drugs before they come to court and then try to throw themselves on the mercy of the court. State is silent, but you're here for a serious offense where you could end up going to prison for 5 years. And I will tell you this, if you end up going to prison for 5 years, it's not your mom's fault. It's not your attorney's fault. Because I'm sure your attorney probably already told you that I always, well, not always, but usually ask for a drug test. And all you had to do was come into court clean today. And if I were to send you to prison today, which I haven't made up my mind on that, it will be entirely your fault because your criminal history is just insane for someone your age. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So what are you doing with your life?
Well, I'm not gonna say that, in the past that, it was a regret because jail kind of did help me out, I had problems that helped me.
All right, let's do this. Let's stop saying after every sentence. I want you to concentrate and try not to say A lot of people come before me and they say, it's like, well, like this and like that.
Okay.
Your attorney is also a teacher, as am I. And I will tell you, he does not like his children saying, it's like. So let's try not to have that when we speak.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I went to school for, construction. It's always been like, type of dream job, sorry, it's just how.
Can I ask him a few questions, Your Honor?
No, I want to.
Okay,
I want to hear him.
Well, I went to construction for about 3 years the school for construction, I got my ACCR, my OSHA.
See, it's hard. And I'm doing this not to make fun of you, but you have to learn how to speak, not like you speak with your friends, because this is a professional setting. And when you go do job interviews, people are not going to want to hear it's like, So concentrate on not saying those things. It's for the betterment of you. So concentrate, not saying that and not saying, okay, and it's like. And I want you to stand up straight and I want you to stop mumbling and I want you to speak so I can hear you because I'm trying to make a decision on whether or not to send you to prison.
Yes, ma'am.
So go for it.
I went to school for 3 years for construction. Since then I got my NCCR, OSHA, and my level in carpentry, cabinets and stuff like that.
And do you have an opportunity for a job?
Yeah, I have an opportunity to job. I have a neighbor that does construction. So
does your neighbor know that you're doing marijuana?
Yes, ma'am.
You're telling me that your neighbor wants to hire you and your neighbor knows that you're doing marijuana. Tell the truth.
No, ma'am.
Here's the other thing. Do not be dishonest with me. I do not like when people are dishonest. You cannot do construction and use drugs. If you do, something's going to happen. Either there's going to be an accident at the job, and I have relatives who do construction work. I have relatives who drive. Anytime there's an accident, the first thing they want them to do, whether it's their fault or not, is take a drug test. And if there were an accident at a construction site, they would have you take a drug test. You would be positive for marijuana like you're positive today, and you would be fired. And they would be looking at a civil suit because someone is on their site using drugs. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you living with your mother?
Yes, ma'am.
I know she doesn't want drugs in her house.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I see his mom?
Absolutely. Ma'am, come on up.
Peter.
And you had requested her, Judge, so
Yes.
we made sure she wanted to be here as well.
Thank you.
You might just remove the mask.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, if you can lower your mask and state your name for the record.
My name is Tracy.
All right, and are you his mother?
Yes.
What does he spend his day doing?
Well, just normal, sleeping. He goes and helps me with Ubering.
How does he help you with Ubering?
He delivers the food.
Does he have any friends over?
Not really.
Does he have a
No.
curfew?
Well, he has a GPS on, so he doesn't get to leave. He's just gone from 2 to 10, and then he's at home. I don't really have any. He's different. He's calmer.
Does he help you clean the home?
He does. He cleans his room. That's the most important thing, is keeping his room clean. That's what I care about. Is every kid can clean their own room and wash their own dishes. That's great with me, because that is the most important thing. Is if he can make sure he cleans his room, because I know he doesn't make a lot of the mess that's in the kitchen. It's not him. But when he does, he's very good at cleaning. He's different.
All right, who all is in the household?
So it's me, it's Lonzo, my 3 other kids. My friend comes around once in a while, but he doesn't live there, but he does.
So are the people in the home just his siblings?
Just his siblings. His girlfriend comes, but she doesn't stay. She just
And I'm
comes.
hoping she's not in a bedroom with the door closed with him.
Yes.
Oh, that needs to stop. I don't know how parents do it today, but what I can tell you, in my household, when I was growing up, number one, there were no boys in bedrooms.
Yeah.
Number two, they were only in common areas. And number three, they had to call before they came.
Very
And when my grandmother would babysit me, my aunt had a boyfriend to come over. And you know what ended up happening? He overstayed his welcome. And you know what my grandmother told him? No one is going to come into my home and try to outsit me. And she put him out from the common area. Now, he hung around, and now he and my aunt have been married for like 30 years. So I guess he was like, I'm going to take what your grandmother is dishing out. But he should not be in a bedroom with a door closed with his girlfriend. You know why? Because one, he's not ready to have a child because he's using marijuana. He has all this criminal history. And any mother who would allow a girlfriend to see someone with the baggage he has when he doesn't have his life in order, I question that mother. And he may end up improving his life, but the way his life stands right now, it's chaos. It's chaos with the GPS. It's chaos because he's looking at 5 years prison, and you have some girl coming over in his bedroom with the door closed. That equals possibility of children. And are you ready to be a grandmother from him?
No, they both take care of themselves to the point where they are
No,
not
no, they
having
don't.
kids.
They're young. And young children tend to do dumb things, whether they have been raised by Mary Poppins or not. They still do dumb things. And I'm just going to be honest with you, right? I don't understand how parents allow children who are not married to come into their home and treat their home, as my grandmother used to say, like a hotel motel. That should not be happening. And you know why? Because it sets a bad example for his siblings. And then your home becomes a hotel motel. The only difference is they don't have to pay for it.
Very true.
So that needs to stop. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, here is your choice. I can give you deferred adjudication. If I give you deferred adjudication, if you are revoked, you're going to be looking at 10 years in prison. Or I can send you to prison for 2 years and you will be done. Which would you prefer?
Adjudication.
Right. And what I can tell you is Deputy Laura tells me all the time that she doesn't know how people do probation in this court, because probation in my court is difficult. Because if I give you probation, I want you to be rehabilitated. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The court is going to sentence you to 5 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. There should be proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There should be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular UAs. I'm going to want him tested for levels. Those levels have better start going down. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And is this girlfriend you have, is she using as well?
No, ma'am.
Another reason why she shouldn't be with you. It sounds like she doesn't use drugs, but you do. And then you have these criminal cases and you've just been placed on deferred for felon in possession of a weapon. You need to ask yourself, why is she with me? And if it's because she sees something in you, you need to ask yourself, what does she see in me? And the fact that she's taken a chance on you, you need to start doing better. He's going to remain on GPS. I'm going to want a curfew. The only exception to the curfew is if he's at work. So he's going to be in the home by 8 p.m. And if he's not working on weekends, he is to remain at home on the weekends. So there will be no partying for you.
Your Honor, if I may. So the construction job with his neighbor that he was talking about, he was saying that, how is that going to work with GPS? Because I don't know if that person, well, that's what we need to find out. We need to talk to him and see if he can arrange a schedule.
The problem they have with the GPS, it's on a school campus and they go around military bases.
Mhm.
And they do the routes.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yes.
They want you working. Okay, they want you using your craft. But you also got to show this court that you're going to be doing what you need to do.
All right. So it's partial GPS.
I get it.
All right. It's partial GPS for employment. I'm going to want field visits 1 time per month, 200 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Your Honor, yes, you said curfew is 8 p.m. to 6 a.m.
No, my understanding, he's going to be working throughout the week. So he doesn't leave the house till 7 a.m. and he's back at 8 p.m. But if he's at work, then he can work.
And Judge, I appreciate your thoroughness. I just need to make sure he understands this. You're saying if that construction job, if he cannot have the GPS, you're saying then he cannot work that job. Is that what we're saying?
Well, let's just see. I don't believe in crossing bridges until they're
I
built.
agree, Judge.
So let's see where we are on that. And then if there's an issue with that, then he can come back to
Yes,
the court. And this court, to be successful on probation, communication is key. So if there's an issue, talk to the probation. If you're not able to speak with probation or you feel like they're not addressing your issue, then come to court and address it with me.
Very good.
But the issues on the construction job side is not with this side. That's the reason I haven't been able to work yet.
Okay, I don't understand what you're saying.
The issues on the construction side, that's why I haven't been able to work yet.
Like, what is the issue?
It's the monitor, me being around, gotta be on school campuses, military bases. It just doesn't look right in the field.
So you need to talk to that boss and see if that's a no-go. In other words,
I mean, get some big boots. Get some big boots on. Pull your pants leg over the GPS. Here's the reason why you're on GPS. I don't just put people on GPS. Sometimes people who are on probation, they get taken off of GPS. The reason why you're on GPS is because you are not even doing what you're supposed to do with this hanging over your head. You knew that I could send you to prison for potentially 5 years, and you chose marijuana over having a better shot at not going to prison. And I'm going to want a TAP evaluation. Oh, that is true. What are they recommending? All right. What I'm going to do with you, I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. And those are all over the city. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to stop using marijuana or you need some type of intervention?
Be able to stop.
All right, probation, is there anything else? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I'm concerned about the job. You know, it's kind of my dream job. And
No, wear long pants. And I've said it, I'm going to say it again. And maybe the marijuana is clouding your mind, but this is what I'm telling you. Wear long pants, wear bigger boots. If there's another issue where the construction job is saying you cannot wear GPS to work this job, then that means that bridge has been built. Your attorney can come back to me and we can address it. But if they are saying that construction, you can't have that with construction, you're going to need that person to come into court or either do an affidavit with your attorney or directly speak to your attorney to say construction cannot be done with this. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
All right. Showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Yes.
Just one more issue. Thank you.
So my son passed away, so
How long ago?
it was 4 years ago, but I wanted to do something with my family for his birthday, and that's this Saturday. And I wanted to find out if that would be okay.
Where are you
All
going
right.
to go?
Rashawn,
We're going to the Live Oak Park. And
okay. Can you make sure that they're allowed to celebrate her? I won't say celebrate, but acknowledge her son's passing and that he's allowed to attend. So Saturday, if whatever their plans are, he's allowed to attend.
And as far as the monitor, so I completely understand why you want to have the monitor and not. But I will tell you that Alonso's been to a lot of interviews, and so it is very difficult to wear a monitor and people want to give you a job. And so his friend was explaining to him too, because I overheard the phone and I overheard you say something too, and it made me think about something. Because a lot of people judge something that they don't know the whole story about. And that's an unfortunate thing because we've been dealing with this for a very long time, and I'm still dealing with this. And this is one of the things that have caused a lot of problems for Alonzo.
All right, here's the thing. I understand what you're saying. I'm internalizing it, but I want you to understand something. He needs structure. He doesn't have structure. And I am not trying to question your parenting skills, but this is what I see. Parents are trying to be friends with their children. They're acting like their friends, their children are their friends and adults. You're not technically an adult. You know why? Because you can't take care of yourself. You're living at home with your mother. You're using her home as a hotel room, and she's letting you use it as a hotel room. You've been having issues since you've been a juvenile. We got the resisting arrest and search, criminal trespass, criminal mischief, unauthorized use of a vehicle, failure to identify, another resisting arrest, search and transport. I'm ignoring that because that was taken into consideration. And then you've been to TYC before. And you know what that tells me? That tells me a little bit that one, you need structure. And mom, you are not his friend, you are his parent. And you need to start laying down the law because otherwise he's going to end up in prison. And if you violate the conditions that I've set for you, what's going to end up happening is you could be looking at 10 years in prison. Here on out, everything that you do in your life, every decision that you're making, you need to ask yourself, is this something that could result in me going to prison for 10 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. Because what I can tell you is, and Deputy Laura will tell you, Deputy Mejia and Miss Abrams will tell you, at some point in time, when people violate conditions in this court, they always end up getting caught. You may not get caught the first time you violate it, but ultimately you end up getting caught because I'm serious about probation coming out doing field visits. And when they do, and something happens, you know what ends up happening? I receive a motion to revoke. And when I get that motion to revoke, if it's in proper order, I check the box and a warrant is issued. You are picked up by the police and you are taken into custody. And either your mom makes bond for you or she does not. If she doesn't make bond for you, you are brought over in orange after having been at the jail with other inmates, sharing toilets, sharing clothing. And then I hear your motion. And if it turns out that it is true and I find it's true, then you're looking at 10 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So your mom is allowing you to do things that she should not be allowing you to do. So you're going to have to check yourself. I don't know if that's something that young people still say, but that's what they said when I was growing up. You're going to have to put yourself in check because your mom looks at you. Your mom loves you. Your mom looks at you as still as her little boy. You're an adult. So if you love your mom, you're going to have to start doing things appropriately so your mom doesn't have to come to court begging you and not seeing the fact that she has a son who came to court for sentencing and you're using marijuana. And you're probably using it in her house in the form of candy bars or whatever. And you're in the back room with your girlfriend having sex or whatever. And you're going to end up, if you continue on that vein, you guys are going to forget something. And you're going to end up bringing a grandchild into this world for her, and she's going to end up caring for it. And that grandchild is going to be stuck with the father who has all this history, who doesn't have their life in order. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So probation will go over conditions with you.
Thank you, Judge. With the excuse.
Yes. Court is going to call 2022 CR 6828, Sadis, Texas versus Alonzo Miguel Taylor.
Yes, ma'am.
Tony, have a great day.
Good judge.
All right. Always good seeing you. All right. And for Mr. Taylor?
William Davidson.
All right. And are you Mr. Alonzo Taylor?
Yes, ma'am.
Going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision and First Amendment Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Alonzo Miguel Taylor who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2022 CR 6828 for the offense of felon in possession of a firearm on May 10th, 2023 for a period of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 1, on or about the 9th day of February 2022 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, Alonzo Miguel Taylor, committed the offense of evading arrest or detention in violation of condition number 1.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
And Your Honor, we waive the other violations alleged in the motions.
Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 1, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in the prison and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 1 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There's not, Your Honor. We're going open on this, but we have agreed that the defendant will go plead to the evading that he just pled true to in County Court number 5, and the state has agreed to TIC the resisting from February 9th, 2024, and the evading from November 15th, 2023. The state is asking that the defendant be revoked and sentenced to 6 years in the prison, and I believe the defense would like to be heard on that.
Yes, defense, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, his mother, Miss Tejeda, is here. Can I call her as a witness?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let me ask you something before you call her. Is this the same mother who came in here previously and she was allowing him to have females in his room and said that the great thing about him was that he kept his room clean? Is this the same mother?
So,
Oh, no, I think it is, but bring her on up.
she says
Here,
that
sir.
you know who she is.
Oh, yes, I do.
She hasn't.
I remember this case. His hair was a different color at that time.
You have a good memory.
I try.
Man, put your phone away.
I actually wanted to show her something.
All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Tracy. Last name is Tejeda.
All right, what do you wish to tell me?
So this has been a long time. I didn't expect for everybody to be here, but I know plenty of parents come here or they don't. My son, I've been going through this for a very long time. And I wanted to show you something where I lost my son and how old he was because of the system.
No.
No.
Let me stop you right there. It's not because of the system. I remember you coming into this court testifying, making excuses for him when he was not doing what he was supposed to do, making excuses for him for why he's testing positive for drugs, making excuses for him for why he doesn't have a job, making excuses for him for why you were letting him be at your house and using your house as a hotel motel. You came in and made excuses for him with that. And I remember specifically telling him that he had better start getting his life together because you were not being of help to him, that you were enabling him. And now you're back before me again, making excuses for his actions. So his being in the system, what does that have to do with him evading?
So I'm not making excuses for Alonzo. What I'm saying, let's say if you had been shot in your knee at 15, or you were accused of something that you didn't do at 13, you end up going into the system. You end up finding friends in the system that you start believing that they're your friends. He got his fingers broken. Not to mention, I can name several other things that Alonzo's been through mentally that has been very challenging for him since he's been a child, okay? So I don't make excuses, but I do understand when people go through things in their lives, that mentally damages them. So there's a lot that you guys don't know about Alonzo, what he's seen and what he's experienced. And
Well, let me tell no. Let me tell you this. Here's an excuse that you're making, and you made it before. Since you're bringing me into the equation, let me bring myself into the equation as you've done. My mother divorced. When I was young, my brother was young. And guess what? She had rules and we had to follow those rules. There is no way on this planet that my mom ever allowed us to have people in our bedrooms with doors closed, knowing that we are having sex in bedrooms with the doors closed and saying, we're going to take care of it. You have done a disservice to him because you've been making excuses. Everybody, I can tell you, everybody in this court has had something traumatic happen to them. Believe it or not, I've had traumatic things happen to me. People think that I just came on this bench and everything was fine and I had this perfect Pollyanna life. That's not my life. But you know what? At a certain point in time, no matter what has happened to you in your past, at some point, the choices you're making are the choices you are making. Do you understand?
Oh, yes, I definitely understand. And I explained that to Alonzo too. And so that's why I explained to him like outpatient mental health.
Oh, no, let me just tell you, let me stop you right there. If I continue him on probation, there is no way he's doing any type of outpatient. And there's no way he's going to be living with you because obviously you are an enabler. You're not a good influence in your life. And I knew when I placed him on probation previously that he should not be living with you, but he had no other choice but to stay with you. I knew that. So I'll own that.
He was 19.
Yeah, and you're enabling him.
But 19 years old.
No, you cannot.
I'm not. I understand what you're stating, but I've come a long way with Alonzo, and he's come a long way, and he's changed a lot.
No, he hasn't.
He has. Yes, he has.
All right, I'm gonna have you step back.
I
Thank you.
understand.
Can you come forward?
Can I talk?
No, you may not. I'm gonna give you a choice.
Can I please talk?
No, I'm gonna give you a choice. Here are your choices. You have two choices. One, I can continue on your probation. You will no longer be living at your mom's house because she's an enabler. She was an enabler when she came here. And she was an enabler last time for you when you had a different hair color. She was an enabler when you kept testing positive for drugs. So one or two things. One, I can continue you, or I can sentence you to 7 years in prison. Which do you prefer?
Continue.
All right. So you're not going to be allowed to live with your mom anymore. I'm going to deny the motion. And the only reason why, well, one of the many reasons why I'm continuing you is because of your age. You're young. I still think you can be saved. I could send you to prison, and you know what would happen at the prison?
Let me see one thing.
No. You know what would end up happening at prison?
Isolated like always.
Oh, no, you wouldn't be isolated. You'd be in general population and people would be looking at you some kind of way. Prison is not a nice place to be. Prison is not a place where people go and everybody just leave them alone and everybody's being nice to each other. I'm going to deny the motion. I'm going to alter and amend conditions. And that's going to include, he's either probation, he's either going to felony drug court, or he's going to state ISF. And is cognitive local or not?
State ISF is not local at all, Judge.
All right. So,
Their ISF, the local ISF is here in San Bethel.
all right. He's going to do state ISF. And he's not allowed to reside with his mom. It's time for you to grow up.
Can I do felony drug court?
Hmm?
Can I do felony drug court?
If felony drug court accepts you, and you had better talk to them and let them know that you want to be in felony drug court. You understand?
No.
You had better start making better choices with your life. Now, do you still want to talk to me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you want to say?
I just want to say, my mom's my best friend. My only friend.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my life, she's right. I've been isolated from the world, basically. I'm not really good at talking to people. I never
Mhm.
was. Today I might mess up my speech a little bit.
No, I understand.
I made mistakes in my life, a lot of mistakes. Can't really take them back.
Let me just tell you what the problem is. And we're off the record. This is the problem. The problem is parents, they're really not supposed to be your best friend. I don't understand this new age parenting that people have. Parents are supposed to be parents.
I didn't grow up with anybody.
No, that's what I'm saying. Guess what? You know who was in my life? My mom. But my mom let me know that she's my mom. We're not girlfriends, right? I know I can go to her. I know I can tell her anything, and I would tell her anything. But there is no way on this earth that I will be calling her by her first name because she was my mother. And we were not best friends. We were not girlfriends. I knew that she was in charge, and that's how it was ran. And I'm only telling you this since your mom wanted to bring me in the equation. Your problem is your mom, with her letting you treat her house like a hotel motel, guess what? That's because y'all are best friends. She's not behaving as a mother. And you are going to have to grow up. And that's why you're not allowed to reside with her, because she's enabling you and she's making excuses. At some point, the choices you make in your life, guess what? Those are your own choices. Because otherwise, everybody in here has some trauma and they can go out, continue to break the law, and they can just come in and say, oh, I only have a single parent. Oh, I got shot. Oh, they kicked me out of school. Oh, I never had anybody to be there for me. Oh, I only have one friend. There are so many excuses that people can have for not doing the right thing. That's going to stop with you today. You understand? No. We're done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I do think she cares greatly for her son, but she's going about it all wrong. She's trying to be his buddy and his pal and his friend, and she's not acting as though she's a mother. And unfortunately, that is probably why he is where he is. That's just my opinion. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.